Okay, so you think you know Russia. Cold, big, vodka, bears on unicycles. And sure, all of that is technically accurate. But what most people don't know is how Russia became the largest country in human history. And more importantly, how spectacularly it fell apart, while basically tripping over its own boots. This is the story of the Russian Empire. And I promise you, it is unhinged from start to finish. Before there was an empire, there was just chaos. Very cold chaos. In the early 9th century, a loose collection of Slavic tribes were farming, trading, and occasionally fighting each other for fun. Then, the Vikings show up. Most people picture Vikings going west, England, France, the coastline snackgrounds. But some of them looked east and said, actually, those river systems look profitable. These Eastern Vikings, called the Varangians, built a state, its most important city, Kyiv. Yes, that Kyiv. Kyivan Rus becomes the cultural foundation of the region. For a few centuries, Kyivan Rus is thriving. Christian now because Prince Vladimir converted in 988, partly for politics, partly because the Byzantine Church had better architecture and, frankly, better PR. But then, plot twist. The Mongols arrive. In 1237, Batu Khan rolls in with an army so large that medieval chroniclers just wrote, and then everyone died. Kyiv, destroyed. The whole state, shattered into pieces. For the next 250 years, the Russian princes pay tribute to the Golden Horde. They basically run their little kingdoms on a subscription model, except they're the product. Out of this rubble, one tiny principality starts quietly accumulating power. Moscow. Not because it's impressive, mostly because the Moscow princes were incredibly good at one skill, political survival. They cooperated with the Mongols when needed, fought when they could win, and slowly absorbed neighboring territories, like a very patient blob. The prince who finally breaks free? Ivan III, also known as Ivan the Great. He stops paying tribute in 1480. The Mongols come to the border, look at each other, and then just leave. Anticlimax of the century.
The time is now.
Ivan adopts the double-headed eagle, borrowed directly from the fallen Byzantine Empire, and starts calling Moscow the Third Rome, which is either the most ambitious branding decision in history or the most delusional. Probably both. Then comes Ivan IV, his grandson, and history gave this man the most accurate nickname ever assigned to a human being. Ivan the Terrible. He becomes Tsar, which is literally just the Russian word for Caesar, at age 3. His regency is chaos. Nobles fight over power while a child sits on the throne, looking confused. When Ivan finally takes real control as a teenager, he decides that every problem in Russia has one solution: more violence. And honestly, in some ways, it works. He expands Russia massively, conquers Kazan and Astrakhan, pushes into Siberia. The man was strategically capable. But then, his wife dies, and Ivan, who was already not okay, becomes significantly less okay. He creates the Oprichnina, a private army of black-robed enforcers who ride around on black horses with a dog's head and a broom on their saddle, symbolizing that they sniff out and sweep away the Tsar's enemies. It's the 16th century version of building your own secret police, because therapy wasn't invented yet. The Oprichnina terrorizes the nation. Entire city populations get massacred on suspicion of disloyalty. Novgorod, one of Russia's oldest cities, gets essentially wiped out because Ivan heard a rumor. A rumor. And then, in a moment of rage, he kills his own son and heir with a staff. Immediately regrets it, spends the rest of his life haunted by it, dies a few years later, a broken man surrounded by the wreckage of everything he built. Ivan the Terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, peak ruler energy. And that's all. If you want to continue Write in the comments and we're here for the long haul.